The last thing I want to look at in this chapter is looking at metadata. Now, you may remember throughout this chapter we've been looking in SQL Developer, logging into the shows user, and looking at the tables inside the shows user, and then table by table, for instance, picked the ACT table. We've been looking at the contents, left click, double click on this table, and I got impatient there, so it binged at me, and it's given me the metadata for the table, the columns, the data types, nullable data defaults, comments, etc. And then obviously the constraints that are on that table and any indexes that are created on there, and so on and so forth. Table by table. Now there's another way to access this information by actually looking at what are called metadata views. There are groups of these views. Essentially in Oracle there are two groups. The first group are DBA, all, and actually I've got this wrong, user tables. The user tables are accessible within the user by the user for anything that that user can see. So if we go into SQL Developer and we say select star from user tables, this will show me all the tables for this user, or that this user has access to. If I were to go back out to here, connect as the system user, and type select star from user tables, I have to be on the line to use Control Enter. I get a lot of system tables and a lot more tables because system has, or the sys user and the system user have DBA access, so they have access to a lot of other things. So let's go back to the shows user. So essentially what you have is three layers: user tables, local tables. All tables gives you access to all tables that you have, and DBA tables gives you access to all the tables that you have access as a DBA on, which as the shows user I'm not a DBA, so it's not exactly going to be too useful. Those are the security layers. Now within these tables there's obviously, well, they're actually views. They're known as reference views. If you go into the Oracle manual, and let's go to the master book list, I'm going to search for the word reference, and we will eventually get to it, and by the looks of it, it would be easier just to page down. I'm just trying to show you an easy way to find the reference manual, which gives you the lists somewhere in here. Amongst 1,000,001 other things, you will find a list of all these view names. See, they're all underbar, DBA. A lot of them overlap each other, so where you have DBA tables and all tables, you have overlap. The difference that you'll see, for instance, if I look at describe user tables, prompting stuff, you can't turn it off though, or you don't want to turn it off because it's part of the product. So here, look at what we have here. User tables just has table name, table space number, so on and so forth. Go to here and type DBA tables. I still wish it wouldn't do that. And what we'll come up with here, and scroll down again, it has an owner in there, which means if I went back to my system window, which I'm already on, so I could go and look at owner, table name from DBA tables, and it will give me all the tables owned by sys, and if I scroll down far enough I might see some shows tables. Well, I'll see some system tables there. See, system. I'd have to sort them to find the shows tables probably. There's different users, lot of different users. Select user name from, these are all the schemas in this default database. As you can see, there's quite a few of them. Somewhere in there, there's the shows user. Lots of other schemas for all sorts of things. Different applications. These are the system users. We don't want to go through the details of what each one is. Test as a user I've created. But the point is, going back to these scripts again, you can actually access metadata inside these views or using these views, but rather than just looking at them table by table, I'm going to go back to the shows user. You can access all the tables. So what I've actually got here, I've read with user tables. I can see all the tables, table-specific information all at once on the same screen. So it follows that I can also use something called all tab columns and find, let's specify my table name as being show because I don't want to get too much information. Control Enter, and it'll give me all the columns for the show table. I could take this off and we'll see, I'll show you what I mean by information overload. And these are all the columns in all the tables that this user has access to. So what we really want to do here, the shows user does have access to some system tables, depending on the privileges, depending on the database. User tab columns. Has system columns for metadata, that kind of thing. So look, we got act table, category table, city, country, price. It just happens to be ordered in the way that we actually created the columns in the database, I think. I haven't sorted it. It's physically ordered. This topic will be continued in the next movie.